retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab it and taste it.
Holy fuck, it is almost 90 degrees outside. If you can believe that. It is almost 90 fucking degrees outside. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'm telling you, Mother Nature never gets it right. Mother Nature never gets it right. She either goes blazing hot with 90-degree humidity, or she goes 30 fucking degrees and a blistering cold wind. We can never get a nice, healthy medium. We can never get a nice, healthy middle ground of 70 degrees, 75 degrees, with a nice-ass breeze. Very nice breeze. Nice, cool breeze with the grass that just fucking blows in the wind. We can never have that, especially not in Jersey. Jersey has these crazy-ass weather patterns of their own. But regardless of the shitty-ass humidity, I'm hoping that it cools up outside as we head into the night. Still doesn't change the fact that we are live across the IWC. And that could only mean that, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you to a very special edition Thursday stream, as we are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 4 different accounts. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter, handle known to mankind. And you best believe that when you take in that breath and you go, oh, you best believe that that is the smell of pure motherfucking excellence. And this is the official rundown for WWE Backlash 2024, which of course is streaming live on the Peacock. That is, get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. Peacock. This Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, the pre-show starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and the reason why it's in the afternoon is because they will be going live from Lyon, France. First time ever that Backlash has ever been held in France. And we got a couple of things to discuss here, as we also are heading into 80s Wrestling Con. 80s Wrestling Con is going to be this Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I will be live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time during 80s Con. And we're going to get ourselves a nice little Backlash watch-along. We're going to react to the matches going live during Backlash. We're going to have some fun. I believe they might set up a screen, so that way I won't have to flip back and forth between StreamYard and Peacock. And it's going to be a very fun time. I'm going to be selling some merch over there. Of course, I'm going to be selling wristbands. Gotta love those wristbands. They're very, very simple. And of course, I'll be selling t-shirts. Of course, the DJ Storms t-shirt design is the greatest t-shirt on the face of the planet. But here's a new piece of merch I got going on over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the standout piece of merch. No one else is doing this shit. Only I'm doing this shit. It is the official DJ Storm's switchblade comb. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but let me see what we can do here. Let me take this camera. I want you to take a look at this right here. You know what that says right there? You know what it says? That says the oh so familiar phrase that everyone loves. Everyone loves it. Everyone says it with me. I got the DJ Storm switchblade combs. So we're going to unhook this shit right here. Look at how fucking high-end this shit is. I got the lightning bolts and the phrase on the holder as well. I'm telling you, you guys are going to want to get yourself some official DJ Storms combs. I know that James Punaseca, he's already ordered one. I'm going to be sending them very soon. And then, of course, Raging Girl Gamer, she's already got one. One of my girls, Jalitza, down in Florida, she actually ordered one as well. I just mailed hers out today. And my main girl, Danielle Ritchie, a.k.a. D. Cena, I'm hoping we'll see her at some point during the stream. She also ordered one. I sent that out today. These are $3 plus $3 in shipping if I'm going to be shipping it outside of New Jersey, unless you're going to come on and see me face to face, and then you could just pay the $3. But these new switchblade combs, or as I like to call them, the good combs. Ah, yes, the good combs. That shit's going to catch on. Let's be honest here. I can make anything popular because I just have that much fucking power. These switchblade combs are available now for purchase. I already got 4 people that purchased the combs. People, if you want to be an elite member of the DJ Storms posse, you gotta rock like DJ Storms rocks. And the only way to rock is to rock with a DJ Storms switchblade comb. You know why? Because it is just so fucking good. Oh my God, it is succulent, tasty. It is absolutely fucking scrumptious. You already know the deal. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. But before we get into what we're going to get into, enough of the merch promotion. Let's go into the self-brand promotion with social media. Obviously, you already know the drill. Follow me on X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. You can add me on my personal Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. You can also like the official DJ Storms business page, which we are live on right now. And I'll send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all those links are in the description. Conspicuous by her absence is my good friend Courtney McCarran. If you're wondering where Courtney McCarran is, she was on the rundown for the Royal Rumble a few months back at the beginning of the year. She was supposed to be on the rundown for Backlash, but as we speak right now, she is currently feeling under the weather. She felt very bad that she couldn't make it, but I told her that her health is the most important thing. Right now, she is not feeling her best. She was not up to doing it, but when she's back to 100%, she will be coming back on my channel sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, thoughts and prayers go out to Courtney McCarran. Hope you get better very, very soon. We all love you here. The DJ Storms Posse extends its love to you. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button and share the stream out on all platforms, social media, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, Rumble, whatever social media platforms that you may be using, people. It is incredibly vital that you get the word out there because everyone needs a dose of DJ Storms in their life. Because it is a known fact that I make people's lives better. Listen, I didn't make the rules. Yes, I did. In addition to that, please make sure that you hit the super chats. You want to donate, hit the super chats, hit the super stickers, hit the super thanks. John Blaine, come on over, hit the like button on YouTube. Send a super chat if you will. I've been putting pedal to the metal on the grind all the time. I think it's about time that I get me some more super chats with every stream that I do. On top of that, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. We are very, very close to 2,500 subs. Very, very close. Please help us reach 2,500 subs sooner rather than later. And on top of that, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, You already know, baby. It is the best motherfucking time to be on YouTube. You already know. Anyway, Backlash. Let me take a drink of my ice water right here. Backlash. Not much going on. Not much going on this Saturday. Quite disappointing, if you ask me. I thought that this was supposed to be a new era, but it seems as though WWE, they put all of their effort into the draft, and yet they couldn't even get the draft right. Minus a couple of NXT talents that were called up on Monday, the rosters are largely the same, further proving my assessment to be correct that WWE should just end the brand split, because it's making the shows feel worse. And then people want to come out of the woodworks and say, well, it's not going to give the same amount of opportunities to others as compared to a WWE that does have a brand split. Motherfucker, what's the difference? What's the difference between WWE with a brand split or without a brand split? There's legit no difference. They're already using the same fucking talent on a weekly basis. Nobody, and I mean nobody, feels more important than they should. It's Drew McIntyre, it's Cody Rhodes, it's Bayley, it's Becky, it's the Judgment Day. That's it. That's it. Those are the only stars, the only fucking stars that WWE has right now. Everyone else feels like an undercard schmuck. CM Punk isn't even medically cleared, and yet he is the best thing about WWE TV. That tells you all you need to know about the state of WWE TV. And it's quite fucking sad. Now, are these the worst shows that I've ever seen? No. The first couple of SmackDowns coming out of WrestleMania was actually really good. SmackDown actually had a nice little streak going for itself coming out of WrestleMania, and they seemingly dropped the ball. The first night of the draft was boring as shit. It was as lackluster as you could get. I had more fun at the fucking Williams Center in Rutherford, New Jersey, watching ISPW. 400 people. 400 people at that show, and yet that show was more entertaining than anything that WWE did during the draft. Now, again, are these the worst shows that we've ever seen? No. That would be completely unfair of me to say so. These are not the worst WWE shows that we've ever seen. I lived through a day and age where we saw men dress up in drag and Sami Zayn pretend that three guys wearing skirts and wigs were Bobby Lashley's sisters. I lived through a day and age where Shane McMahon was the biggest thing on TV with his whole best in the world gimmick, and Drew McIntyre was his lackey. I lived through a day and age where they dumped dog food on Roman Reigns. Trust me, I know what bad television is. I'm not going to sit here and say that the shows are completely horrible, but they have no energy. They have no sense of urgency. They have nothing to really sink your teeth into. Now, I will say this. The card for Backlash, nothing really going on, but with a crowd like France and how loud they're going to be, how entertaining that they're going to be, I have a feeling as though we could get another incident like what we got with last year's Backlash. Because last year's Backlash, I remember, there was no hype surrounding last year's Backlash. None. But yet, last year's Backlash may very well have been one of WWE's best shows of the entire year last year. So I'm not going to write off the show. I am not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, it's going to be a complete shit show. No, I have full confidence that we're going to get a very entertaining show in one way or another, just like we got last year. The crowd is going to make the matches on Backlash better than what they're going to be. I just fucking hate the fact that most of this card is full of fucking rematches. And on top of that, WWE has not put forth enough effort into making Backlash feel important. I mean, look at what's going on with the World Championship title scene. The World Championship title scene for both shows, the World Championship title scene for both shows is pretty much a blip in the road for guys like Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso, he's Not to say that he's not great, but I mean, in terms of credibility, I mean, let's be honest here. Jey Uso is never going to be a world champion. And then you got Styles and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is great. I have been an avid mark, and I mean I have been a huge fucking mark for AJ Styles in one way or another for the longest time. And I never use that term, but I have been a mark for AJ Styles at certain points throughout my fandom. But AJ Styles has no credibility. I've discussed this numerous amounts of times. The man jobbed out to Omos 2.5 years ago. He then went into 2022. He lost every single pay-per-view match that he had until November. He lost 3 pay-per-views in a row to Adam Copeland. He wasn't even on SummerSlam. He wasn't even on Clash at the Castle. He wasn't even on Extreme Rules. He hasn't won a pay-per-view match since November of 2022. And then when he came back, the biggest match that he had was with Seth Rollins back at Night of Champions last year. And then what happened? He lost. And he wasn't on a pay-per-view until when? Styles lost to Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. He wasn't on a pay-per-view until God knows how fucking long. He wasn't on a pay-per-view until January of this year. He lost at the Royal Rumble. He wasn't even on the Elimination Chamber card. And then he lost at WrestleMania to LA Knight. And then just because he wins a triple threat match and then another number 1 contenders match against LA Knight, then we're supposed to take him as a serious threat to Cody Rhodes? I mean, holy fuck. Claudio Castagnoli had more credibility going into his match on Collision against Swerve Strickland than AJ Styles has going up against Cody Rhodes. At least Claudio has actually been winning matches this year. At least Claudio has been in a consistent high-priority role on TV. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Do not get me wrong. But the one thing that I cannot stand, and this doesn't just have to do with WWE. This has to do with any wrestling company. I cannot fucking stand laziness. I can't. I cannot stand when someone does not put forth their best effort. And WWE has not put their best effort when it comes to building Backlash. They're just selling it on the fact that, oh, it's WWE's first ever Backlash show in France. There you go. And that's how it sells. Stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Anyway, when we get into these specifics here, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Can I just ask a question here? I just want everyone to think about this. Why is Jade Cargill on Backlash, WWE's first ever Backlash event in France? Why is Jade Cargill on the show, but yet we do not have LA Knight on the show? We do not have Sami Zayn on the show. We do not have the Street Profits on the show. We do not have the Women's World Championship on the show. I mean, holy fuck, I'd take Becky Lynch on the show over Jade Cargill. At least Becky can actually wrestle. We don't have either brand's tag team championships on the show. Bronson Reed isn't on the show. Chad Gable isn't on the show. Sheamus isn't on the show. All these people are not on the show, but yet you put Jade Cargill on the show. Someone who realistically shouldn't even be on television, period. But yet, here she is. Here she is in a women's tag team championship match, a WrestleMania rematch. Only you take out Naomi and Dakota Kai. I'm sorry, but that is absolutely fucking ridiculous. The fact that Jade Cargill is on Backlash, but yet you leave out the Street Profits, you leave out Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed, you leave out both brands' tag team champions. How does that make any sense? If this is WWE's first major show in France in God knows how long, I don't even think that we've ever had a pay-per-view in France, to my knowledge, and yet you put Jade Cargill on the show, tag teaming with Bianca Belair against the Kabuki Warriors for a worthless set of tag team championships. I understand that you're probably going to need a piss break match, but holy fuck. For a major international show, that is absolutely fucking pathetic. Jade Cargill shouldn't even be on TV, let alone on a major international show like Backlash. The fact that she's on the show, but all those guys that I named are not on the show, that is absolutely fucking inexcusable. It's ridiculous. Listen, I understand that she looks great. She looks like a fucking Greek god, but that doesn't mean you need to push her out there on the show. That doesn't mean you need to push her out there into a championship title scene when she's realistically only been an active pro wrestler in WWE for the last, how many weeks? 5 weeks? 6 weeks? I understand that you want to build her up as the next big thing, but why don't you just let that shit happen naturally? Why don't you put her on TV when she is as good as Bianca Belair instead of putting her with Bianca Belair to have Bianca mask Jade's flaws? That's what I don't understand. Do not put anyone on TV that is not in-ring ready, okay? This is 2024. It is not 1991. I don't give a fuck if you look like a Greek god. I don't give a fuck if you're 7 feet tall. I don't give a fuck if you got 30-inch fucking pythons, brother. I don't give a shit. If you cannot fucking wrestle, listen, I am not asking you to give me a Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson classic. That was one of the greatest matches of all time that we saw this past Sunday. This past Sunday at Dynasty, legitimately, one of the greatest matches that anyone will ever watch in professional wrestling history. But I'm not asking for that. I'm not. But I mean, if you can't even give me a simple, basic, decent Monday Night Raw match, right? Like, what did we get this past Monday, huh? What did we get this past? I believe the week prior, we got Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That wasn't a memorable match at all. Matter of fact, it was a pretty basic Shinsuke Nakamura and Sheamus match. But I mean, holy fuck, that match with Sheamus and Shinsuke Nakamura, that match was better than legitimately every single one of Jade Cargill's performances in WWE. Jade Cargill hasn't had a good match since her last match in AEW, when she was beaten by Chris Statlander on Rampage. That was the last good match that Jade Cargill's ever had. What the fuck are we doing? Seriously. Why aren't we getting a triple threat match with Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable on the show? That's what we should have gotten. Why isn't Logan Paul on this show? Some people cannot fucking stand Logan Paul, but Logan Paul is a great fucking wrestler. Why do we not have Logan Paul versus LA Knight on this show? Why do we not have Logan Paul versus LA Knight on this show? Stupid. What do you think's going to happen in this match? What do you think WWE's going to do? WWE, they're looking to strap the rocket pack to Jade Cargill. The only thing that I'm hoping for is that we get this match done and over with. Not because it's going to be a bad match. I thoroughly believe that the Kabuki Warriors and Bianca Belair, they will carry Jade Cargill through that match, and we're going to get ourselves a semi-decent match. But let's be honest here. Out of all the matches on this card, this match is the piss break match. This match should be smack dab right in the middle of the show. What do you think's going to happen? Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are going to walk out the tag team champions. Are you going to care? I know that I'm not going to care. You know why? Because the women's tag team titles are fucking worthless. There should never have been a set of women's tag team titles. The fact that they still exist, is ridiculous. Cargill and Bianca Belair are all but confirmed to win. Now then, moving on from that, we got ourselves a triple threat match for the women's championship. We got ourselves Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton. Now, the one thing that I just fucking hate about this match is the fact that we had to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Going back and forth with Tiffany Stratton and Naomi in singles matches when we've seen these two fight numerous amounts of times. And it's just become very, very repetitive. This is the one thing that I hate about the brand split. What I hate is the fact that we see the same matches over and over and over again. How many times do we need to see Naomi and Tiffany Stratton? We've seen that at least 4 times within the last 12 weeks. We've seen that shit 4 times within the last 12 weeks. I mean, holy fuck. We've seen 4 Young Bucks versus FTR matches on AEW TV, but those two fought 4 times within the course of 3.5 years. At least space this shit out. But, I do have full confidence that these 3 women are going to tear the house down. Tiffany Stratton, I mean, if they wanted to put a world title on her, you could put a world title on her right now. Tiffany Stratton is fucking great at what she does. Naomi's always been very good. Bayley is one of the best of all time. Now, if it was up to me, I would probably have this match kick off the show. And I would have Bayley retain the women's championship. No reason why Bayley should be losing the championship. She legitimately just won it back at WrestleMania. Why would you take the championship off of Bayley? Now, what is going to happen here? Who's going to take the pin? To be quite honest with you, I don't really like this, but I have a feeling that it's going to be Naomi taking the pin. And I want to say that I kind of feel bad for Naomi, but at the same time I don't, because, listen, she chose to resign. But nothing is going to turn out different. Naomi is virtually the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division. She's going to be put in high-quality matches. She's going to put on some high-quality matches. Is she going to win the big one? No, she's not. And if she is to win another championship, the farthest that Naomi's going to go is the women's tag team championships, which is quite pathetic if you ask me, because Naomi has always been a world championship caliber superstar. But WWE never has any faith in her. WWE is never going to invest in Naomi for one reason or another, because they do not see Naomi as an upper echelon talent. She is there to be the division's Dolph Ziggler, and that's not fair to her. But she's going to take the pin. What happens afterwards? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Bayley afterwards, because, to be quite honest with you, I can't even name you a solid challenger outside of Nia Jax. You're not going to do Naomi again, because Naomi's just going to take another loss. You're not going to do Tiffany Stratton again after the show, because Tiffany Stratton, realistically, Tiffany Stratton is the favorite to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. And with Tiffany Stratton winning the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, that could very well set up a big-time moment where Tiffany Stratton could cash in and take the championship from whoever. Tiffany Stratton is your women's Money in the Bank ladder match winner. So she's not getting another title shot. You got Naomi in there. Why would you give Naomi another loss? Nia Jax is virtually going to be the next challenger. But then after Nia Jax, who else you got? Who else you got? Unless they're finally going to build up a Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae should be a lot further along than she really is. Candice LeRae is one of the best overall wrestlers, not just women's wrestlers. She's one of the best wrestlers in the company, period. But yet she's floating around with Indy Hartwell doing nothing in a worthless tag team division. Matter of fact, I think she was the first one eliminated last Monday when we had the Battle Royal to crown a new women's champion on Raw. She was the first one eliminated. Out of everyone in that match, she was the first one eliminated. Then again, I have to ask the question, is it too late for Candice? I know that this match is going to be a great match, and I would have these two women kick off the show, or these three women kick off the show, excuse me. But the question is, what happens afterwards? Where does Bayley go? Candice LeRae has been built up. You're not going to do Naomi again. You're not going to do Tiffany Stratton again. It's too early for a woman like Blair Davenport. Nia Jax is the only viable option. And how many times have we seen Bayley versus Nia Jax? I mean, holy shit. Those two women have fought over every major championship in the WWE Women's Division in the modern era. They fought over the NXT Women's title. They fought over the SmackDown Women's title. They fought over the Raw Women's Championship. They fought over the Women's Tag Team Championships. And now they're fighting for the Women's Undisputed Championship. Man, that draft really given us a real shakeup, right? Some fresh matches. Shit that we've never seen before. Ridiculous. Bayley's going to win. I fully expect a great triple threat match, and above all else, this is going to be a major, if not already, it's going to be a major breakout moment for Tiffany Stratton. If you guys have not been keeping your eyes on Tiffany Stratton, I would strongly encourage that you do so. She is fucking phenomenal. The Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. They are taking on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. I'll get the positives out there first. Because there is some positives to this. The Bloodline has been rejuvenated. The Bloodline has morphed into the best thing on the show once again. The Bloodline, finally, after God knows how many months of being stagnant, after God knows how many months of just being a complete waste of time, the Bloodline finally feels important again. The Bloodline storyline finally has some life. And now we're headed down the road to a true Bloodline civil war whenever it is that Roman gets back. Whatever we got last summer was bullshit. Now we're getting into the main course. Now we got the fucking meat and potatoes. With Tama Tonga coming on in, all it took, think about this, all it took was Roman Reigns losing the championship and Tama Tonga coming on in. That's all it took. All it took. Now you know why I was preaching for Roman to lose the championship last year. Because we could have gotten this shit with the Bloodline minus Tama Tonga last year. Coming out of WrestleMania last year, the Bloodline storyline could have still been a vital part of WWE TV. But ever since WrestleMania 39, the Bloodline storyline just went downhill. It went right down a rabbit hole. It plunged right off a cliff into the Atlantic Ocean. Never to be seen again. Or should I say, no one wanted to see it again, but it was thrusted in our faces. It was thrusted in our faces. By default, it was the best thing on the show because back then there was a power struggle between Vince McMahon and Triple H. But at the end of the day, the Bloodline storyline going into the summer of last year, bunch of bullshit. It was all a bunch of bullshit. It resulted in Jimmy Uso leaving the Bloodline with his brother Jay, and then Jimmy Uso gets beaten to within an inch of his life by Roman and Solo, only for Jay to fight Roman at SummerSlam, and then Jimmy comes in and costs his own brother the world championship, made 0 sense whatsoever. Then we got the shit with the Bloodline in LA Knight, and then the Fatal 4-Way at the Rumble, and then we finally got Cody Rhodes finishing his fucking story. Finally, although people were more happy that Roman is not the champion, more so than they're happy that Cody Rhodes is the champion. I hate to say that because Cody Rhodes is great, but that's the truth. You don't come here for bullshit, okay? No one comes here for opinions. What I state ain't opinions. This is cold hard facts. You want opinions? You go watch anyone else. You want facts? You watch DJ Storms. Now, the Bloodline storyline has been rejuvenated. And finally, we're getting some intriguing shit. However, I'm not going to sit here and say that this match is intriguing. This match is going to end in one way, and that is the Bloodline is going to win, and it's going to be Kevin Owens taking the pinfall. And on top of that, it's not like we haven't seen this shit before. Kevin Owens has been feuding with the Bloodline since the pandemic. Kevin Owens has fought every single iteration and version of the Bloodline that we've seen. He's fought every single member of the Bloodline, minus the Wise Man. He fought Jey Uso. Jey Uso isn't even in the Bloodline anymore. Randy Orton, he got back. He's been feuding with Roman Reigns since he got back. So I ask, how is this new? How is this fresh? How did the draft really shake things up? How is this supposed to make me want to go out to watch Backlash when we've seen Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in wars with the Bloodline already? The only difference is now, instead of Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso or Roman that Solo is tagging with, it's Tama Tonga. Now, I think that Tama Tonga, this is the best role for Tama Tonga. And I think we're going to get some really good shit on SmackDown, especially with the rumors that Jacob Fatu could be coming into WWE. And if Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, if he's coming on into WWE, that right there is really, and I mean really, going to shake things up. That could very well result in Jey Uso going to bat for his own Bloodline. Maybe we could see Jacob Fatu, and people have been calling this out, we could see Jacob Fatu cost Jey Uso the World Heavyweight Championship, because Damian Priest ain't losing. We already know that Jey is losing, but if Jacob Fatu cost Jey Uso at Backlash on Saturday, that is going to make the match itself and what we could see on SmackDown following Backlash that much more interesting. So I'm intrigued. I am. I'm intrigued to see how they play into the Bloodline on Friday and how quickly they're going to add new members. Because Jacob Fatu, he's gotta be showing up. That man's gotta be showing up at some point in the coming weeks. It would be foolish of him not to. It would be foolish of WWE not to bring him in now. But the match itself, listen, I'm sure it's going to be a quality tag team match. It's never not. Kevin Owens is a quality wrestler. Randy Orton's a quality wrestler. Solo Sikoa, I mean, he's been doing great shit on the main roster. Even though he's been on a fucking 41 match losing streak, he's still been doing good shit. Tama Tonga's been great. Tama Tonga was always great in New Japan. But I mean, we've seen this shit before. The only difference is Tama Tonga is tag teaming with Solo. But I expect a quality tag team match, and this is ending one way. It is going to be the Bloodline taking the win. The Bloodline is going to be taking the win, plain and simple. The question is how? Do we see Jacob Fatu here, or do we see Jacob Fatu in the next match? And we'll talk about the next match. I would not have done Jey Uso, but if it results in the debut of Jacob Fatu, I mean, who the fuck am I to complain, right? Who the fuck am I to complain? Damian Priest and Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash. This build realistically should have been a lot better. And if anything, I wouldn't even have done Jey Uso. I would have done Ricochet. But no, you got Ricochet going to war with the Judgment Day, as if we haven't seen Ricochet versus some member of the Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, as if we haven't seen Ricochet versus some member of the Judgment Day almost every week on Raw for the last 5 to 6 weeks. As if we haven't seen that shit before. It is really, and I mean, it is really, really fucking exhausting. If we're going to do Ricochet versus the Judgment Day, if anything, Ricochet going up against Damian Priest, that would have made more sense than Jey Uso. Because Ricochet's been beating other members of the Judgment Day, and then he wins a number 1 contenders match, and now Ricochet gets a big shot at the World Championship because Damian Priest is holding it. Ricochet would have made more sense to challenge Damian Priest more so than Jey Uso. Now, Jey Uso's great, but let's be honest here. He ain't winning this match. He's not. Damian Priest should not be losing. If anything, I don't even fucking know if we're going to see Damian Priest lose that championship anytime soon. If anything, we could see Damian Priest hold that championship longer than expected. Now, since Drew McIntyre, he signed a new contract. We'll get into that on Saturday during the watch-along. But Drew McIntyre, he signed a new contract, right? Drew McIntyre signed a new contract. I would not be shocked if we get Drew versus Priest at Clash at the Castle since it's in Scotland. However, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre are currently in a feud right now. CM Punk, to my knowledge, is not cleared. I'm not sure how much longer CM Punk has in his recovery, but if he is being allowed to appear on Monday Night Raw, and he is being allowed to walk around without an arm brace, that could only mean that he is very, very close to being cleared. And if he's very, very close to being cleared, I certainly can see CM Punk and Drew McIntyre taking place at Clash at the Castle, with Drew McIntyre being the hometown conquering hero and CM Punk being the heel for the night. Because it's in Drew's hometown of Glasgow, Scotland. So that right there, I mean, holy fuck, you want to talk about a reverse. I remember Money in the Bank 2011, John Cena versus CM Punk. You remember that? Where CM Punk was cheered like a motherfucker and Cena was booed out of the building. That I can see happening, but with Drew in the role of classic CM Punk and CM Punk in the role of John Cena from 2011. Now that would be one hell of a fucking match and one hell of a crowd reaction too. I don't know about you, but that is something I wouldn't mind. Then who fights Priest? I don't know. But Damian Priest, he deserves at least a 2.5-month reign. I would not be taking that title off of Damian Priest anytime soon. And I really hope that they do not have him lose the championship. At least not now. He's not losing against Jey Uso. Let's be real here. He's not. Do we see Jacob Fatu here? I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the hours leading up to Backlash on Saturday afternoon. But in my eyes, no doubt about it, Damian Priest wins. Damian Priest retains. There's no reason to have him lose. Jey Uso's not a world champion. If anything, Jey Uso, I would not be shocked because there are rumors going around that WWE is going to perform a trade or two with the draft. They're going to perform a trade or two before the rosters go into effect. We could very well see Jey Uso traded over to SmackDown if Jacob Fatu is indeed the man to cost Jey Uso the World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest. But no matter what happens, no matter if there's a trade, no matter if there's an interference, no matter if Jacob Fatu shows up or he doesn't show up, Damian Priest is going to retain. And then we got the match that will main event the show. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, adrenaline in my soul. Undisputed champion Cody Rhodes. We're going to Lyon, France to fight. Oh! Cody Rhodes taking on AJ Styles. The non-credible AJ Styles. I love AJ Styles, but I mean, if you saw my rant at the beginning of the stream hasn't even been going that long, and to be quite honest with you, it wasn't going to go long at all. But I mean, AJ Styles, listen, I'll say it again. I love AJ. AJ is one of the greatest wrestlers ever. There will never be another AJ Styles. Some will try, and all of them will fail. AJ Styles is and forever will be phenomenal, exactly as he says. But as we speak right now, I want you to think, and I don't want you to sugarcoat shit. I don't want you to suck the WWE cock just because you love Triple H, okay? I do not want you to suck the WWE cock just because you love Triple H, okay? I want you to think about this. How is AJ Styles going to look credible against Cody Rhodes when for the last 2.5 years he's been booked like shit? Styles, at this stage of his career, I understand that he's winding down. I understand that he's not going to be at the tippy top of the mountain anymore. But that doesn't mean that you need to treat him like a glorified enhancement talent. Because whether you want to admit it or not, that's what AJ Styles has become. At least that's what WWE has presented AJ Styles to be. AJ Styles is a glorified enhancement talent. He jobbed to Omos. He lost the Royal Rumble in 2022. Lost inside the chamber. He lost every single match to Adam Copeland during their little feud. He wasn't on SummerSlam. He wasn't at Clash at the Castle in 2022. He's only won one pay-per-view match in the last 2+ years. The only pay-per-view match that he's won is against Finn Balor back at Survivor Series 2022. The only pay-per-view match that he's won in the last 2.5 years. But yet, he's supposed to be taken seriously against Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, might I remind you, who just beat Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes, who is virtually in God mode. I don't want to steal Roman Reigns' catchphrase, but I mean, let's be honest here. Cody Rhodes is here, and no one else even comes close to him. Cody Rhodes, by default, is here because he ended Roman Reigns' 1,316-day reign as champion. So Cody Rhodes is here by default. Everyone else looks like a bum when you compare him to Cody. And that is all on WWE. It's not AJ Styles' fault. It's not. It's on WWE. You know why? Because they didn't build up anybody else. It makes more... Again, I'm not trying to be a dick here, and I'm not trying to be a fucking tribalist, but whether you want to admit it or not, AEW gave you more of a valid reason as to why Christian Cage is getting a world title match against Swerve. And on top of that, Christian Cage, who just lost the TNT Championship, might I remind you, Christian Cage, he has more credibility in his fucking pinky finger, more so than AJ Styles does right now. And he just lost the championship, but yet, Christian Cage, he has more credibility against Swerve Strickland at Double or Nothing, more so than AJ has against Cody. You know why? Because at least Christian Cage has been winning matches. At least Christian Cage has been on TV in a prominent role. At least Christian Cage has not been used as a glorified enhancement talent. Christian Cage, at this stage in his career, is bulletproof. Styles is not. Styles is not bulletproof. Roman Reigns is bulletproof. Randy Orton is bulletproof. John Cena is bulletproof. Seth Rollins is bulletproof. Guys like that. Becky Lynch, she's bulletproof. Styles is not bulletproof. Even though Styles has already had his time AJ Styles has not been booked like a credible individual. I'm not mad that it's predictable. We all know that Cody Rhodes is going to win. That's not the problem. The problem that I have is credibility. Because let's be honest here, the reason why people are silent during some wrestling matches, whether it be on AEW, whether it be on WWE. Now, let me say this. They're a lot more loud on AEW TV. It's a rarity that you have a dead AEW crowd. Winnipeg was not on the up and up when it came to AEW crowds. They weren't terrible, but they were not on the up and up. But there's a reason why most of the WWE crowds are fucking dead quiet, sitting on their hands and knees. Aside from the fact that they are brain dead fucking zombies, aside from the fact that the WWE fan base is the most retarded fan base on the planet, aside from that shit, the reason why WWE fans are dead quiet for most matches is because WWE does not give anyone a reason to invest in anyone not named Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Randy Orton, Bloodline people, Judgment Day people. They do not give you a reason to invest in anyone else outside of the people that are here. They have not given you a reason to invest in AJ Styles. Now, if AJ Styles was booked like a winner, if AJ Styles was winning matches, if AJ Styles was putting on bangers, if AJ Styles was put in the ring to do what AJ Styles does best, and that is fucking wrestle, then maybe this match would feel bigger than it actually is. This is the first time ever they're facing off, and yet there is no heat to this match. There's no heat to this match because one guy is at the top of his game. One guy is virtually the face of the company because Roman's not there. That's Cody. And then the other guy has been booked like a schmuck. That's the problem that I have. Is it going to be a great match? Bet your ass it will be. You bet your fucking ass it's going to be a great match. I'm going to be there for it. I'm going to be there for it. I'm going to praise it. I am going to enjoy the fuck out of the match. But I'm not here to discuss what I enjoy. I'm here to discuss truth. And the truth of the matter, whether you want to admit it or not, and I don't care whether you like what I have to say or you don't, at the end of the day, I'm right, you're wrong, you fucking know it. Sit there, shut your fucking asses up, and listen to me. Because I'm the guy that the IWC needs, not the other way around. I don't need the fucking IWC. I'm a fucking legend with or without the IWC. I'm a fucking legend. I'm a fucking beast on and off of camera. The IWC needs me more than I need it. Because the majority, 99% of the people that inhabit the IWC are the dumbest fucks on the planet. Fact of the matter is that AJ Styles does not look like a threat standing next to Cody. And that's all on WWE booking. Now, some people were making comparisons to Roman Reigns and AJ Styles from back in the day. I'm sure that we're going to get ourselves one hell of a fight. I'm sure we'll get ourselves one hell of a fight. I'm sure we're going to get ourselves a little mini feud that's probably going to last to King and Queen of the Ring. We could get a second match with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. I think that this is probably the best route for the both of them. Where does Styles go after this? I don't fucking know. And to be quite honest with you, I can't even believe I'm about to say this. I don't even give a fuck. Pains me to say it, but I don't give a fuck about AJ Styles. Guy hasn't done anything. Guy's done nothing interesting. Guy hasn't been booked to do anything exciting. But I'm sure we're going to get ourselves a great match. I fully expect Cody Rhodes to retain. Man, short one. A short one today, people. Very, very short one today. There was really nothing minus Backlash to talk about. This is the preliminary shit. This is the preliminary shit before we get into the big show during 80s WrestleCon, and it should be a fun time. If you guys are going, please let me know if you are going to be there. Please let me know when you are coming by. Stop by my table. I'll be selling wristbands, t-shirts, and combs. It is going to be one hell of a show during 80s Con, and I hope to see each and every single one of you there. That wraps up this edition of The Rundown. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. Thank you very much to John Blaine, James Punaseca. Thank you very much to Raging Girl Gamer and Adam Carl. Decent amount of people. Nice, solid amount of 21 people watching the show. I'm assuming I'm going to get more viewers on Saturday, mainly because of the fact that Saturdays are my day. But in the meantime, you already know the drill, people. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Hit the super chats, the super stickers, and the super thanks. Be sure to set your notifications for the Lightning Flash update this Saturday at 1 p.m. live from 80s Con. And be sure to set your notifications for Sunday at 3 p.m., where I will go live for the rewind for WWE Backlash 2024. And we're going to discuss all of the outcomes from Saturday's show. And then we are headed down the road to another big weekend at the end of the month. Memorial Day weekend, we got two major shows. We got King and Queen of the Ring and Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is shaping up to look like one hell of a fucking show. Looking forward to Double or Nothing. It's going to be good. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown. But before we get out of here, people, you already know the drill. And I want you to let everyone know, and I want you to inform the crowd of the IWC. The crowd on the IWC, the most idiotic fan base in the entire world. And I think that the IWC needs to know. They need to remind people. Please remind everyone who runs the IWC. You already know that is a trick question because the answer is who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!